Hi everyone, welcome to Stand and Empower. This is Lisette Lee, and in today's segment, I have my special guest, Gabriela. Welcome, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. What is it that you do? What are you passionate about?
Well, when I was 3, my mom put me into dance. So ever since I probably turned about 18, I've been teaching, and I'll be 41 soon.
Wow.
And now my daughter, I kind of took a break in between. When I had her, she went into dance and she brought me back into it.
Oh, that's nice. She's following in her mother's footsteps. How has it been for you, just with going back into teaching, and what is it that you like about dance?
Well, I like that kids can just dance. When they come to dance, I mean, they have all their emotions and everything else in life that they just can kind of just do something they enjoy and love.
Yeah.
And then I work a lot with the company kids, so they'll do a routine and then I help them clean it. So then you get to see kind of the before and after and their accomplishments. Yeah. So, and with Izzy dancing, it's kind of a different generation. So there's different styles, so it keeps me challenged teaching and doing new things than I used to do before. So,
what have been some of your favorite types of either music, types of dances? Like there's jazz, right? Yeah. Tap, pop, like what is it for you?
There's so many. I know hip hop's really big right now. Ballet will always be around. The thing I think is kind of a core other than ballet is doing stretch and strengthening. I teach those classes, so then they help with, preventing an injury. It helps with flexibility, and all the strength and everything. So then when they go in and they try to do a turn or a jump, they're stronger at it.
So important. Always stretch.
Yes.
Well, what have been some of your biggest challenges that you've had, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I think the hardest part is just, since I'm in the competitive with the kids, sometimes, the kids don't always score how they'd like, and you get the one chance on the stage. So it's just kind of, encouraging them to continue, and, it's just a matter of opinions, and the feedback's really good. We get feedback for everything. Like we're all not perfect, so it's nice to get that feedback. So then the next time they do go on stage, maybe they can fix something, or, so that's hard, because you want to keep them encouraged.
Yeah. When you were dancing, what was your favorite technique that you loved, or even style that you used?
Well, I started with tap, but then when I got to the studio that I now teach at, and now that Izzy dances at as well, I would say it's ballet and more acro. So I like all the tricks, and you just kind of add to the trick, back handsprings, aerials, and all that. So
that's pretty neat.
Yeah, you have to get that strength too to get those.
Is there a moment in your life that was pivotal and it changed it in a good way?
Well, I would say I was teaching, and probably about when I was 24, I stopped teaching. And I went in. I've always taught during the day, like at a high school for a few years, but then I had the kids. Izzy probably turned about 3, and she's kind of the one that brought me back to it.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would have gone back to it if it wasn't for her, because she loves it so much. I always thought I don't want my kid to love it because I loved it. Yeah. But she did soccer, she did other sports, she didn't like it, but dance was her thing, and she really did bring me back to it.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I'm working when I'm teaching. So
that's good to do something that you're passionate about, that you enjoy, and that you get to pass on to your daughter. And like you said, it's not something that you had the mentality, well, I did it, now you have to do it. No, you try different things, and then she fell in love with it too.
I mean, I'll be honest, it's not the easiest when I'm correcting her and she's in my class, but she's old enough now, almost 13, that she's starting to get, Mom knows a little bit, I think. So.
Well, who has been your biggest supporter just through, all of this and going back into teaching and doing all of those things?
I'd say my mom. My mom's always kind of pushed me back into teaching. I did sales for a while, I did interior stuff, but my mom's always like, you're just so good at it. And it's like, I don't know, it kind of comes natural to me.
Okay.
So
what would you say to somebody who is in that transition, or maybe whose passion is somewhere in the arts? And they really want to get back to that, but they feel like, well, no, I have to do this other thing. What would you say?
I would first say that they have to start out doing all of them. Not continuing, but try them all, because you might like tap better than you like hip hop, or, ballet is more technical. So sometimes people, they think their kid has to go into technical training and to be a good dancer. But, you know, if they're doing hip hop, it's, you know, loose, funky movement. So
it's different. They don't have to perfect like the
one
ballet
thing,
and then, or tap before they move on to the next.
I mean, there's jobs out there you do have to be well-rounded for certain things, but if someone wants to come into it and try something, you know, new and are worried, hip hop's kind of always the best thing to start with, I would say, because, you know, you have the fun music,
True.
Everyone's having a good time. I don't want to say it's like a party, but, you know, everyone's cheering for everybody, so it's energetic.
Now, let's say for a child it might be easier to learn, at least I think. I don't know, you're the teacher, right? But what about for someone like me, right, an adult who's not necessarily great at dancing, but would like to get into it?
Yeah, I would recommend the hip hop. They have a hip hop adult classes.
Oh, nice.
And there's some studios actually that do it where they like have lights. So it just makes you feel more not like so intimidated with people in there. And they have the different levels too. So you know, you start at the beginning, and I would recommend hip hop.
So you're saying it's not too late to learn?
No, never.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
I need to start to put my husband into ballroom. Might be a little late.
With everything that you've done and that you continue to do in your day-to-day, how do you take care of yourself?
I know it's hard when you have kids because you just continue to take care of them. But, you know, just making sure I'm, you know, I go to the gym. I'm also thinking about myself. When I'm teaching, I do feel like I'm, you know, moving and doing stuff. So I try to do that, but it's hard with kids. You know, you have to remember you got to take care of yourself to have enough energy to get through the day with them. You know, all the lunches, and I feel like a taxi driver sometimes. So
all the driving around without pay, right?
Yeah.
But it's important to see it that way, as that self-care is so important. Otherwise, how are you going to give back if you're drained, right? If you're running on zero, if you're running low, you can't give your best self to them.
Yeah, because it gets hard with kids because you're thinking so much. You know, Izzy goes half day now. I pick her up, make sure she has a second lunch, you know, and I'm trying to prep that and make sure I eat before I go do all of that, so then I don't get worn out.
Yeah, no,
you know?
It's good to have a plan like that and keeping yourself top of mind.
And that's kind of, you have to have a plan.
Yeah.
You kind of have to plan. It doesn't always work out, but, you know, plan out your week on some stuff that can help yourself to have some energy through the week. So
no, very, very true. So guys, please write that down. It's so important. Don't forget to incorporate your self-care with all the busyness of life.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you again for being here today. I really do appreciate your time.
Me.
Thank you. I do have one final question.
Yes.
How do you stand and empower?
Well, for example, my stretch and strengthening class, there's a lot of bands that we use and blocks for all the stretches. So sometimes the kids feel like they can't do things because, you know, it's harder to do. Yeah. So I try to tell them to focus on a few things so then they're able to accomplish those things. So then they can move on and add to their list.
Yeah.
So, you know, and sometimes I have kids demonstrate, you know, show a before and after, like even if it's just something very small that they've improved on. I feel it's important because then they feel like they're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's good. And that way they don't feel that, you know, they're not able to do it. They don't feel like quitting, or even if they feel like quitting, they don't, because they're getting that encouragement from you.
Yeah, and then we do like a Christmas show, a Spirit of Christmas, and that helps. That's more relaxing and fun to them. So it's not always about winning and, you know, trying to get that trophy, because in the long run, those trophies don't mean anything.
Very true.
You know, and then they get jobs and, you know, maybe they want that one job, but it's, you know, you focus on those things. I just try to encourage them to stay focused on things and to keep trying.
And having fun from what you mentioned about the Christmas show, right? It's having fun in the process, because those other things don't last, right? They're just temporary. But when you're enjoying what you're doing, I believe there's more joy, there's more passion, right? You want to keep doing it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's great. Well, thank you again for being here today. I really do appreciate your time. And to those of you listening, I encourage you to try and try again, even if you fail at things, even when they seem difficult. Think about it as the stretching, right? The only way you're going to strengthen that muscle, improve that technique in any area of your life or field that you're in, is by continuing to do the work. So don't give up there.
Yes, please don't give up.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share. We'll see you next time at Stand and Empower.